All right, here we go. We're live and we're being recorded just so everybody knows that we are recording this webinar and we can make it available for anybody who's interested in sharing it with others, or if you're interested in watching it again in case you missed something or if you have any technical glitches. So we want to welcome everybody tonight. My name is Rob Provencher, and with me on the other line is Kyle Brady. Say hi, Kyle.
Hello.
I want to welcome everybody. We have, this is our second webinar of sorts in the Photo Sites That Sells series. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background. I'll be really quick about it and to tell you kind of what the purpose of tonight's webinar is and why we've actually started this series of webinars. Obviously, it's largely designed for photographers in the photographic industry with website marketing in mind. Kyle and I started a company called Photo Sites That Sell, and it's at photositesthatsell.com, and it's a web hosting company. We've created this theme with a bunch of design elements to it that we feel is really essential for photographers. It really encompasses what we feel is the needs and specific requirements for photographers and marketing and photography studios. My background, quick, is I have a photography studio. I run it, work it every day with my wife, 6, 7, 8 days a week. I do a lot of teaching. I run No BS Photo Success as well as ProfitableStudio.com. You may have seen me. You may have been some of the webinars or some of the Ditto Cams or some of the Inferno 3-day workshops that we have both in Nashville and Toronto. So I do a lot of teaching as well as running my own studio. So I'm a busy guy, you know, but I love doing all that stuff. So, but I've always felt a very strong affinity and connection to web marketing. I was probably one of the first to have a web page in my country, Canada, maybe in North America, because, you know, I personally, when I saw the internet coming on board back in 95, 96, it was getting really big. I knew it was going to be big, so, and I studied a lot and really tweaked a lot insofar as my own studio website is concerned. So I sort of got that background coming from an actual photography studio. Now, it's funny, I was having lunch today with a guy that some of you may know. His name's Kerry Allen, and he's the owner of Photography Schoolhouse. I know him very well, and we were having lunch today, and he was talking about some of the other companies that do web hosting for photographers. And a lot of them use a lot of Flash-based stuff. And he was really curious as to, well, not only is his photography website Flash-based, but this company, a lot of companies sell Flash-based websites. And apparently, I'm told, Flash is a dead or dying solution. So I don't know. Do you know anything about that, Kyle? Just so we can just get, I'm just curious about that.
Well, I don't know if it's dying, but you know, the appeal for Flash has mainly been for visual, but there have been issues with Flash for a long time, which I think more people are becoming aware of. And the fact is that WordPress has become so much easier, and there's themes that take advantage of it. So WordPress has been able to, I think, in a lot of instances, overcome Flash.
Yeah. So I guess in his view, and I kind of agree with him, the writing is sort of on the wall in that that may not be the direction you might want to go to. So WordPress seems to be a very dominant force in the industry, and the web hosting that that we have created is 100% WordPress. And a big issue, and you hear this a lot, if you've ever dealt with any technical people, and I thought it was me, but then I did some research, casual research, and talking to people, you know, is it me, or do you have issues talking with these tech guys, any kind of support in the tech world? They're really, really hard people to communicate with, and that includes webmasters. So when you get into WordPress, you really remove the power from the webmaster, and you put it in your own hands, and that's one of the cool things. And I'm going to go into my website in a minute. And I want to just let you all know that we started this Photo Sites That Sell, and we have about a half a dozen members already. We've been going really slow because we wanted to kind of get it going, make sure we're doing things right. So we're kind of sort of still in beta mode. And this webinar was ideally supposed to be sort of for members, but I thought, we don't have enough members anyways. Let's just open it up to the whole world and talk a lot about these ideas. And so it's sort of a Q&A that's open to anything, but with sort of a focus in using the templates that we've created and that we currently use. Now, before I get into some of the stuff I want to talk to you about, if you guys want to see the original and first webinar that we had done on this topic, it's actually got a lot of information. So it's an hour and 23 minutes long. If you go to nobsphotosuccess.com and click on the blog, I posted it there today. So if you're interested in watching that original webinar, if you're watching this particular webinar and it's not September the 6th, it's a date someday in the future, you'll have to go into the blog and you'll have to do a search and look for web strategies with Rob and Kyle. So Kyle, are you typing away a mile a minute?
Oh, sorry. You hear that?
It's like really loud. Well, it's not bad. Are you writing?
My amazing microphone.
Are you writing a novel? Or
No, this is how I type.
You type fast, right? But anyways, yeah, I don't mean to break your balls or anything, but man, could you keep it down? Anyways,
sorry.
No, it's all good. So yeah, so I just want to let you all know, if you want to watch that original webinar, it's there. Just go to No BS Photo Success. I posted it there for anybody who wants to see it. If they've seen it before, you want to see it again. It's a good, and I thought it was a pretty good webinar. So it covers a lot of the strategies and tactics that I feel are really, really important and key for any photographer who wants to maximize the use of their website. So, and that's given whether or not you use the template that we've created. It doesn't matter. The information that's in there and the information we're going to go through tonight is all valid and very, very sound. So I want to show you guys some statistics, and then I'm going to go into my website and show you some of the stuff that I've been doing in my personal studio website. So, but Kyle, now that we got your complete and total undivided attention, anything you want to add to all this discussion that I've brought up so far, or are you okay so far, or is there anything that you might want to mention? I'm not sure if I'm hogging the mic here or not.
No, you're doing fine. I'll pipe in if I need to.
Okay, cool. I just had to ask because, it's the polite and proper thing to do. All right, so I, a couple months ago, got this email from HubSpot. I'm not even 100% sure what HubSpot is. I must have subscribed to one of their newsletters or their main newsletter. And I subscribe to a lot of newsletters, and some I delete, some I keep. And some I keep subscribing to, hoping that they're going to get better and whatnot. But I can't even remember what HubSpot is or how I found them. But they sent out this PDF. Now, this might be a little bit biased. Obviously, it's something you created in order to really bring home some important information and some important ideas that they feel are important that probably supports their particular business. And I have a sense, I went to HubSpot, and I have a sense that they're a web-based service, but they're for larger businesses because they charge a lot of money, $200,000, $600,000, $1,000 a month. So they're a complete service, and obviously for larger businesses, it seems anyways. What Kyle and I have created was something much more reasonable, much more effective, and much more niched in that we are obviously for photography studios. But check out some of the data in here. They've real data from 4,000 businesses. They looked at blogging, landing pages, website pages, Facebook reach, yada, yada, yada. If you go into the first category, this is interesting. This kind of blew me away when I was reading this, and I was like, wow, that's really good. So right here, you'll notice they say that businesses who blogged 16 to 20 times per month right here get over 2 times more traffic than those who blogged less than 4 times a month. And that's really interesting, but this is what really blew me away. Those who blogged at least 20 times per month had 5 times more traffic than those who blogged less than 4 times per month. So what is that telling you right there? It's telling you that blogging obviously is a good thing. So if you watched the first webinar in this series, I touched on blogging, and the obvious question that I asked, and I don't know if any of you have ever thought of asking this or if it's something that's ever occurred to you. Why blog when you have Facebook? Just to kind of reiterate this really quickly, personally, I think blogging is really, really important, and Facebook posting is also important. But for me, the idea is to get social media is the outer circle. Blogging is a closer inner circle towards your website. Your website is even closer, bringing people towards your business. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc., is just a ring or two on the outer parameters of blogging. So blogging is closer to home. Maybe not everybody will read your blogs, but those who do are, in my opinion, higher on the value. If you put them on a value scale of who's more valuable insofar as a potential lead. So as a lead generation tool, I think it's a stronger thing. Brings people closer to your website. You want them close to your website. You don't want to drive them away. So, interesting statistic here. Kyle, you're pretty savvy when it comes to search engine optimization. There's a connection there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, because Google loves fresh content, and if they see that your website is getting content more frequently, Google's going to visit it more. Even though we don't know exactly what algorithm Google uses, it's been proven that websites that get more content get visited by Google and do better in the search engine rankings. As long as that content, I'll caveat that, the content's got to be fresh, it's got to be new, it can't be content that's found elsewhere on the web. So definitely it helps.
So there's another bit of statistic that's coming up in a few pages from now, and it's got to do with pages and landing pages. And I thought about that. A blog post essentially is a page, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so it's no different. So every time you're throwing up a blog post, you're throwing up an actual page on your website. So when we get a chance, I'll show you guys quickly if you need to see it again. I'm not sure if you want to, but I'm going to show you some of my blog posts really quick. I think we covered that a lot. I'm not sure if we did in great depth in the last webinar, but I'll touch on it quickly and just kind of show you. Once I read this, I just really started to ramp up my blogging and trying to really push it. Now, I think the number one complaint and or issue, and I think it's something that's self-induced sort of wall that people throw up, is they think, well, I have nothing to post. What can I post? And I think that if you have that kind of approach, you're really limiting yourself. It's not that hard to do, to come up with posting. Fortunately for me, I got a reasonably busy studio, so a lot of my content is actually studio-based. So John's asking, social media for marketing, is it any good? And what media would you use? John, we'll talk about that in a minute, and because I'm going to talk about blog posting in a minute, I'm going to show you the dashboard to our template that Kyle and I have created, and that ties into social media as well. So Paul is saying too that there's no sound. Paul, that's got to be a problem at your end. Everybody else has sound, so I apologize for that. You got to look in your settings, check your headphones, your headset, your speakers. All right, so blogging and leads. Where were we again? We were blogging and traffic, blogging and leads. So those who blogged at least 20 times a month saw 4 times more leads than those who didn't blog. Business to business, I'll just skip that. Total blog posts and traffic. So, yeah, more of the same. Businesses with over 200 total blog articles got 3.5 times more leads. I'm going to skip over to web pages now. Web pages and traffic, and business websites with 400 to 1,000 web pages have 9 times more traffic. 9 times more traffic than those with 51 to 100. Is it hard to get to 400? What do you think, Kyle? It's not hard at all, is it?
Not if you're blogging regularly.
It's not a hard thing to do at all. I haven't counted, but I'm sure I'm upwards to 1,000 for my studio website. Businesses with websites that have 401 to 1,000 web pages have 6 times more leads than those with 51 to 100. Business to business, I'll just skip that again. Landing pages. Excuse me. I don't know why they have landing pages in here, and I don't know that it's relevant, but they got the same similar data. This is with 31 to 40 landing pages, got 7 times more leads. Those at 40 got 12 times. So statistically, you can see that the data is there insofar as the research that they've done over at HubSpot. So it's interesting. I kind of knew about that already, but it's nice to see it in actual data, even though they may have done this for their own purposes, whether or not it's horribly skewed in their favor or not. But I think personally, I think it's pretty close to reality. So. And even if they're off by a bit or a lot, I mean, it's still got to make it a valid point. Is that your phone?
Yeah. Sorry.
Twitter. So you got Twitter followers, the same thing. Yeah, Twitter, and Facebook. So when you here, this is interesting. If you're a business with 500 to 1,000 Facebook fans, 3.5 times more traffic than those with 1 to 25 fans. So the goal is to get over 500 fans, or better yet, get over 1,000 fans, because this, according to them, businesses with 1,000, they get 22 times more traffic. That's some pretty astounding data. So Facebook reach and leads, same thing with leads. So we're talking about leads, we're talking about traffic, and interesting data there that came out of the HubSpot world. So anywho, let's go over to my page for a second. All right, there's our, if anybody has any questions whatsoever, feel free to fire them up. John was asking about social media for marketing. Is it any good? Well, statistically, from what I just showed you, according to HubSpot and the data research that they've done, absolutely. So, I think you deal with this a lot more, right, Kyle, with social media and setting up websites, because you're kind of sort of the social media guru. And
yeah, and I'll just pipe in there. We think of social media generally as a way to get your brand out there and perhaps bring traffic to your website. And that's all true, but there's one more wrinkle that's recently been added. Google has made some changes to their algorithm recently, and de-indexed a lot of sites and changed how they view sites or how they rank them. And it appears like, from what we've seen, is that they've now put a lot more weight on social signals.
Oh, really?
They call social signals, and that is basically mentions of your business or links of your business on various social sites. So not only does social media help get your name out and bring people to your funnel, hopefully to your website, it also increases your authority in Google's eyes as far as ranking is concerned. So that's one more reason to jump on the social bandwagon.
Well, that's interesting. So Google, and the bottom line is Google likes legitimate social media activity, Facebook activity, likes and people talking about and sharing your links and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Derek's asking, when blogging, do you write about the same topic for a series of posts several days in a row, or do you pick random issues from day to day? Have you noticed any particular topics that increase traffic to your blog? I talk mostly about studio-related stuff, and for obvious reasons, that's what I'm trying to promote. So I heard I don't know if it's a rumor, I heard that somebody got banned, a photographer got banned from Facebook because he was selling too much. So whether or not that's true or not, I'm not sure. So you got to keep in mind, even though I mentioned that really it's all about getting more business for my photography studio using blogging and social media. I don't, I think you'd have to really push your luck to really get banned. So if that's true or not. So, but to talk about any particular topics, let me just go into the back. I just want to touch on something. I'm going to show you a bit of technical stuff, and then I'm going to go into my blogs for a second. I'll show you how I set up mine, and I'll touch on that topic, Derek, a little bit more. So here's the dashboard. That's the back room. Now, again, I mentioned earlier that one of the cool things about WordPress is it really makes you the webmaster. puts the control and power into your hands. So, you know, when you're talking about dealing with webmasters and tech support, very, very frustrating. It seems to be a universal affliction. So the cool thing about the design, and I'll just reiterate that really quick, is you'll notice, I don't know, Kyle, is it showing up at your end? Can you see the slider images going?
I can, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you can see they jump a little bit because of the frame rate, but yeah, they're
yeah, because I know GoToWebinar does not allow, it won't show videos recorded, and I don't know how close this is to a video. But you'll notice on the screen, you'll see my website, and I talk about this in the initial webinar that we created, that I really feel that a good, clean site is essential, and I was really inspired by I had finished reading his book, The Founder of the Apple Computer. Steve Jobs, amazing book if you haven't read it. He was such a stickler for design. And, you know, just by the way he packages and brought together their products, they feel good, they look good, they're packaged right. So I couldn't help but think about a lot of that when I was going for a design that I felt was really, really suitable for photography. There are different designs that work for different industries. If you're a portal site, an information site, a travel site, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you might want to take different approaches. You know, if you're, you know, a plumber, or, you know, there's probably different nuances and different approaches design-wise. But for a photography studio, I felt it was important that combined both elegance, simplicity, obviously really, really playing up images. I was reading some studies today on because, you know, Instagram's coming out and Pinterest is coming out. They're making such huge headways that photographs are just playing such an important role in captivating and pulling people into your posts and into your website and into your Facebook posts. So obviously you want that. So when you look at my page, you'll see I got my logo across the top, and I've got a menu across the top. The menu is very easy to control within the dashboard, and I've got a sub-menu right here. So I've got the main key items here: maternity, weddings, babies, families, and then I got a drop-down menu here, which I get into different styles. So I get into high-key, low-key packages, and I'm always promoting my studio newsletter. I don't have to put the studio newsletter there, but I did. I don't have to because I got it again right here, okay? So you can see the design of the SimplePress the theme that we use encompasses a lot of simplicity, uses photography and photographs, highlighting your work, and also not being too skimpy or shy with the text. I think text is very, very important. So, you know, your site's designed to do one thing and one thing only. It's really designed to sell. And a sale isn't made until the phone or the client shows up. The phone rings and makes an appointment, or the client shows up in some way, shape, or form. So you always want to get people pulled into your website so that they can raise their hands, phone you, send you an email. So the main thing that we use in our studios, our studio newsletter, we get subscriptions, people signing up for that. You can get people to sign up for your blog. That sort of is a lukewarm lead, because if they're going to sign up for your blog, it says to me that they're interested in following, so they're going to track my blog posts, and likewise on Facebook. When they're on Facebook, they're going to follow my posts on Facebook. So it makes them a legitimate, not a hot lead, but sort of a warm lead. So, all right, let's go just in the back room for a bit, just to show you how easy it is. If anybody's listening and you're actually using the SimplePress template that we have, and you have any questions or comments or success stories, I want to hear from you. Let us know. But if you go back to the back room, and there seems, for anybody who's really not super techie, which is me, by the way, sometimes it looks a little overwhelming, but it's like Photoshop. You look at Photoshop, you go, oh my God, there's like 10,000 buttons, but you only need like 10 or less, really. I do most of my stuff in Photoshop, just like I do most of my stuff in the dashboard. There's a little bit of a learning curve, and now comparing it to Photoshop's it's not a very fair comparison, because Photoshop's was way more of a learning curve, at least for me anyways, versus learning how to control, manage, and run my my website. So now that I have control of my website, I get a couple little bumps here in the road, a little bit of aggravation here and again, but overall, it's not it's not that complicated. It's not much more complicated than running your own Facebook account. So again, I want to reiterate, it puts the power in your hands. Now, what Kyle and I have done at Photosites at Sell too, by the way, is that somebody does have an issue, they can we're there for them. We offer support. So, and we created a series of videos to explain everything, just so they get to know exactly and the only things that they need to know. So if I click on the SimplePress, by the way, is created by a different theme company, and we have permission to use their basic theme. And what we've done, just so I can talk about this for a second, using this theme, so what we've done is we've incorporated all the extra goodies and add-ons within that theme that we feel are essential to photographers. For example, the blog category box on the right. You can take that off, or you could place it anywhere you want on your web page. You don't have to fire off an email to a webmaster and say, "Can you guys change that around for me?" You can add as many boxes. So that was something that we kind of added on, and it's something that you have complete control over. So the subscription to the studio newsletter, I added mine on every single page. It's all over the place, as well as videos and all this stuff. We kind of explain it all in the videos that we've created. So, but you notice on top here, got all these different boxes. And, I talked about simplicity and design, and how I really, was inspired a lot by Steve Jobs. Steve liked rounded corners, the rounded corners, very soft, elegant corners. So incorporated that into the web design. So a lot of stuff within the SimplePress are all items that are important to photography studios. So it's really simple. You got your basic, what was this called again, Kyle? This here again. It's kind of like the control panel.
E-panel.
Yeah.
And let me just pipe up real quick, Rob.
Sure.
Your WordPress dashboard is a little different than everybody else's, because you have a plugin that brings it up to the top.
Oh.
So other people may be more familiar seeing it on the left.
That's right.
But essentially, it's the same menu items. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imported it from the original website, in case anyone's wondering.
I had to be different.
Yeah.
Just so you all know, a lot of these buttons, like, I don't even know what most of them are for. I know thumbnail gallery is one we use, and this one here, SimplePress, where I am now, is one that I use, and I don't think I use much of anything else, do I? There's one more. Under widgets. Where's widgets? Widgets. Oh, right there. So under widgets, I have control of these side boxes. So basically, there's three, possibly. There's possibly 4 or 5 areas, that maybe a couple more I can't think of right now. So, but the idea is, that you're able to control all that stuff. Okay, so you got all your settings on there. If I go to my home page, little tab, service pages are these. Let me just go up to the main page. Service tabs are these here, 3 boxes right here. Okay, so I get to dedicate whatever I want to each one of those. And then if I go to feature slider, and this is a feature I really like, and I've been playing around with it. So you notice I got 4 areas clicked, 4 pages clicked. And that means what I'm saying is include pages in the featured slider if use pages enabled, and that means I'm using 4, these 4 right here. I don't think it'll do more than 4. Kyle, do you know if it'll do more without throwing a second row? Because I've tried 5 and it throws in an additional row at the bottom.
Yeah, it's just 4.
Okay, good. Not that I need more. I just, because if you put 5 in there, it'll just throw in another box right in here. And then if you throw 6, I mean, if you like that, you can get a little crazy and start adding all kinds of stuff, but you don't want it to be too busy. And just so you know, I'm always kind of playing and trying different techniques. A couple weeks ago, I think I just had one horizontal banner, and that's all I had. And you might want to just put one. If you really want to focus in on one, maybe you're having a sale or a special that month, and you really want people to see that. So you can just get rid of all these little thumbnail boxes, and you can have just one particular banner. So, or you could have 2 or 3, or like what I've got right here is 4. So I've got 4 different areas, families, weddings, babies, and I just threw that one in there, high-key portraits, so that I could show the picture. So you assign the pages that you want to highlight across your front page. So it's pretty cool. Let me just show you exactly a little more. I'll give you a little more data here on how that works. A little bit of technical stuff in case you're interested. So if you go to pages, here's my pages, and so I have, let's say, okay, weddings. Let's go to weddings. All right, excuse me while I just go find my weddings page. I'm going to do a quick search. Could be right under my nose and I can't see it. So this, what I'm about to show you, is about as technical as it ever gets. So I've clicked on the weddings page down below. Okay, and so it gives me the control panel. So, I can add different boxes, and I can add different ET. What the heck's an ET button again?
That just stands for elegant theme. It's just a button.
Yeah, it's a small button, right?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Tabs. Okay, tabs. Yeah, I'll show you what a tab looks like, just so you know. There's so many different features and cool things. I have tabs under babies. I'm always playing with it. I go in there and I'll start fooling around, playing with different things. Is that your phone again? Oh, I have tabs in there somewhere. Anyways, I don't know where it is, but tabs are just basically tabs if you want to have something like one tab on top of another. So, but you can see that I have control. I can add banners, text, copy, put it in around a little box. But what I wanted to show you was down on the bottom right here, the featured image. So if I wanted to add an image that was going to be on the front page, that's where you add it. You add it right from your actual page in that particular category. So, and I forget the actual dimensions. I think these are some. I always have a folder, by the way, and this is a good tactic if you're always looking for information. And in my studio, I have a folder on my proofing computer, and I have a Photoshop action. When I'm working images and I see an image I like, I immediately hit this Photoshop action, and it throws an image into that folder. So I have an ongoing supply of stuff to post and talk about. I never run out of ideas. I never go looking for it because I've always got stuff. But you can see here I got these banners right here. These are ones I was playing with last week. This is a banner that I had, this is another one, and this is another one. So I have them in the folder, and that's what they are right there. So I had it sized up to, what is that size anyways? 954 by 375. So whenever I'm looking for banners for the front page of my website, that's the size I need them to go into. And they basically just get inserted right there. So if I wanted to go put another one in there, I would click remove image and go click on insert image, and I would just add a different image in there. So, and again, it's just really, really simple. You go to your Simple Press theme options, and you can go into the second tab. Third tab, featured slider, and you click on the pages that you want those images that you've already pre-added to show up on your front page. So it's as simple as that. So let's talk about blogging insofar as blogging and Facebook. Let me check, see if anybody's asked any other questions too. You guys can't see my question box, but I'm just going to check real quick. Dave's asking, what WordPress theme are you using? Well, as I mentioned, Dave, it's a WordPress theme that we got permission from. It's called Simple Themes. Is that the name?
Elegant Themes.
Elegant Themes.
Elegant Themes.
And it's the one layout we like the most. So, and we've been looking to kind of modify and change any other thing. We're always kind of keeping our eyes on it insofar as what we feel needs to be done. So.
Yeah, let me pipe in there, Rob, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, anytime you
want.
What
we did is we looked at a couple of themes, well, quite a few themes, and to find one we liked. The one from Elegant Themes, we liked the layout, but there were a few things that we felt needed to be fixed, so we did some programming to get those modified, so it's a different than the base theme, if you will. It's an upgraded or supercharged theme, and then what we've done is we've taken that basic theme and then we've picked the plugins and added the plugins to the theme that are, I feel are necessary to really get the full effect. So we may go on the plugins later, but anyway, it's the theme plus the plugins which combine to make the whole effect that we have in this, what you're seeing from Rob.
Yeah. I think some of the plugins are the image gallery. That's a really cool one. I love that image gallery. You know what? Before I get into this, I'm just going to go show everybody right now. That's just one. It's just one plugin that was added. In case you guys haven't figured it out or not aware of it, Kyle's the tech dude, and I'm more the artsy fartsy marketing guy, and I get somewhat lost at it. I have a threshold that once that threshold's over, I get this blank look in my face. Oh, you know what? Yeah. That web gallery, image gallery, I use it on my blog posts all the time. That's why I can't find it on my web page because I don't have it on any pages. I have it on blog posts, and I'll show you.
Here, I have it up on a page. Can I get the screen there, Rob?
Yeah. And go ahead. You grab the screen, and when he comes back to me, I will go to some blog posts and show everybody what we mean. You
okay.
can.
Here's the demos. Oh, you got it. You got it, Rob?
There we go. Perfect.
This is just a demo set we put up with some, some pictures we got from iStockPhoto. So, but this is a quick sample of what this gallery is. You add in pictures, and it provides a little thumbnail here. Then you click on them, and it'll bring the larger view. So you can modify this to whatever size you want. But what we liked was the fact that you had the thumbnails. But you also had the large picture all in one, so you didn't have just a thumbnail, a row of thumbnails, and you had to click and it would pop up a larger one. It just seemed a lot easier and cleaner. Particularly like you mentioned in blog posts, you can get a lot of images in a short amount of space, and they can click on what they want to see the most. So there you go. You can take it back.
I really like this plugin. I've played with a lot of different image gallery plugins. And I can tell you what I don't like about some of the more popular ones, and I can't remember the names, but there's a bunch of popular ones. I'm not crazy about. Pardon me?
NextGen Gallery is probably the most popular one.
Yeah, NextGen, that's it. And I use it. I found it so confusing, technically speaking, and there was all these different technical steps I had to do to get it working the way I wanted to. But then it would do this thing where you click on the thumbnail and it would be an extra step and it would enlarge the image. It would enlarge the image on your screen. And I find that the plugin that we're using is much smoother.
Yeah. Can I take it back, Rob, real quick?
Okay.
I'll show that screen. So this is just the back end, if you will, of that demo, that thumbnail gallery that we had, and here's the images that we have included. So what you would do is you just go ahead and you click this add button, and you can add these images And if you click on those images, then you can go ahead and modify them as however you want. You can crop the thumbnail whatever way you want, or add titles and captions. So it's very easy to add images to it, and then you can just add multiple galleries by clicking that plus button. So this is nice. This theme actually costs us quite a bit of money to get a license we could resell. It's not a free theme. NextGen Gallery is a free theme. Mm-hmm. So you won't be able to, this one you can't just go and download for free. You have to pay for it. You could pay for it, but what we've done is just included the license with the service and the photo sites that sell.
Yeah. So, and it's the kind of stuff that we're always looking for, and anything that can improve, make web marketing for photographers easier. So, hey, Dave's asking a question, and I'm pretty sure I have the answer, Kyle. If I don't have it correctly, please correct me. He's asking if we already have our own hosting site and support, is the customized WordPress theme available for purchase? You can buy this WordPress theme, but you can't get the customized version from us. But you can go get the basic theme, and pretty much if you're already doing everything else yourself, there's nothing to stop you from actually going out and just running it on your own. So I can't see that being an issue. Is that correct, Kyle? Did I answer that correctly?
Yeah, you could go to Elegant Themes and get their version, the SimplePress theme, that wouldn't have the plugins, and it wouldn't have the modifications that we've made to it. Mm-hmm. Now, we haven't thought about selling our theme without the hosting service. Maybe that's something that we want to consider, is selling that as a one-time service to provide the theme and the setup with the plugins.
Yeah, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, we haven't done that.
So, yeah, hopefully that helps, Dave. I don't know where you're at in the whole scheme of things, but I still want to go back and talk about posting in a second. I kind of got stuck on this one, but I think it's a cool one. I found a post from a couple months ago where I actually used that plugin, and there it is. So you got the thumbnails on the bottom. Wherever you click, it shows the image right within its own gallery right there. Very, very, very simple and very clean and fast. I love that that particular image versus my experience with the NextGen, which I found very confusing. This one is way faster and way easier on my brain. So I don't use it a lot, but when I do use it, it's awesome. Because mostly when I'm doing blog posts, I'm just firing 2, 3, 4 images. But when I have an extensive post like I had in this one, I prefer to use a gallery instead of having like a whole page of 20 images in a row. So, but just talk about blogging for a minute. Let's go to my blog page, because I want to go back to Derek's question. Derek asks, when you blog, do you write about the same topic or a series of posts several days in a row, blah, blah, blah? Well, I don't pick a theme unless there's a theme in my life or my studio that's going on. I know a couple personal projects I've done through my studio where I was doing work with, say, the midwifery clinic, and I was doing a series of pictures. Or I could do sort of a theme-based series based on my work with, say, another project in town where I'm doing work for the tour of homes, which is another personal project that I do as a promotional and publicity thing. So you can certainly blog with that in mind. I don't think that it's a mainstay or the backbone to my general blogging and or social media strategies. But I know one thing that I've been making very, very important strides on, and you could see right on my blog post, September 6th, that was today. September 5th was yesterday. September 4th was the day before, and there was a bit of a gap because I was gone for the weekend. Okay, so 31st, 30th, you'll see a lot of blog. I'm trying to get my blogging up to over 20 posts a month. So fortunately for me, I take a lot of pictures, so I've got a lot of stuff that I get to post that are based on what I'm doing in my studio. So I think that if you're just starting out and you're building up your portfolio, you're going to have a bigger challenge. So, but I think it's still important to even if you're posting a lot of personal projects, if they're photographic based, you want to really show your personality. You want to show the level of work that you're capable of doing. Here's an example here. I was in Costa Rica for a week in August. And I always bring my G11 with me, my G12 rather, and I do snapshots. I post stuff like that, and people love reading about that stuff, and down below it sort of gives you related posts, and these 3 related posts are from the same category, which is in this sense I put it in the community category, and you can see I got a list of categories on the right. I probably should have put that one in travel. I didn't, but I should have. But I put it in community. So community is anything that is really not work coming directly from my studio to clients. Again, there's another Costa Rica thing. I'm not sure how a grad portrait got into the community. This was, she's a gold medal hockey player, gold medal winner last Olympics. She's from our town. I did her pictures for a magazine in our town. So I had my daughter and my daughter's friend who was an exchange student from Belgium. Did a quick shot. That just gave me something to write about. So here's an article I wrote, and it's why shoot and burn photography is a farce and always a bad idea. It created a little bit of controversy, but it was just something that I wrote. So, if you're going to, a lot of people think that they're not good writers, and I'm not a good writer. It's really, really not complicated. If just write from the heart, imagine that you're sitting at the kitchen table talking to a friend and you're really excited about something. If you're not excited, make yourself excited, get excited about it, and use some enthusiasm and just write. Don't worry so much about grammar, and don't worry about trying to get it grammatically perfect. I mean, spelling, I let a few slip by once in a while, and you don't want to be too atrocious in that department. If your spelling is really bad, have somebody spell check it for you. But I prefer to be more conversational sounding in my blog posts because my personality shines through. So this is strictly 100%. There's that hockey player, the gold medal winner. That was the actual end result. But this is just in the community section of my blog post. Okay, so one time I just went in and I put a post called "A Few of My Favorite Things." I was just thinking one day, I got some cool snapshots here. Let's put a post and call it "A Few of My Favorite Things." But generally speaking, the majority of my blog posts are, again, as I mentioned, from the actual studio. And if you're just starting out and are struggling, you'll have to get some personal projects going. And if you have to get, you're a photographer. It's like if I were a musician and I needed to get out there, I would be playing at every opportunity I could get a chance to. So it's the same with photography. You'd be shooting every opportunity you get a chance to. And every time you get something, you post it and you write about it. So, including weddings, babies. So I'm going to go and show you more of the technical side of blogging. Is important. So Derek's asking, so consistency is of primary importance. Well, what do you mean by consistency? If I'm going to talk about something not related that is totally relevant and totally relevant to the big picture, yeah, I'd say consistency is important. So I definitely, my own personal views is to stay away from, I stay away from politics, I stay away from religion, and, the third of the trilogy is sex, so sex, politics, and religion, but I'm a little more open when it comes to sex because I don't think people are that sensitive and it doesn't fire off as many hot buttons as religion and politics. So I say that, but sort of tongue-in-cheek because I posted a picture of me in my underwear on my cool red couch 2 winters ago, and I don't know if it's anywhere near, but that was just, I did that on purpose with the intention of creating a stir and just to be a smart-ass funny guy. So it was just, there's a concert I went to, and I talk about other people. I talk about other people in my community. Those are good ideas for blog posts. There's my mother-in-law. She won a civic award. There's the mayor of our town. Talk about the Inferno. If you're at the Inferno, I've always, I blog those pictures there, and I talk about the fact that I was attending the Inferno. So talk about the local DJ in town. Anyways, there's a picture somewhere in there of me in my underwear, almost naked, on a cool red couch in the dead of winter. I mean, how crazy is that? So you don't want to get too far off topic. The majority of my posts are, now look at this. This is funny. I just got to show you this. I've been photographing this little girl since she was like a baby, and her mom comes in almost every year, and she's a good kid. And just her mom felt she was bad, and she had her send me sort of an apology, an apology note. She's a really sweet kid. She's just very active, and I appreciate kids like that. So there's a blog post. You know, when I get something like that, that's a blog post, and people love that because it ties into my studio. It shows my personality. It shows the goings on. So anything studio related, you throw that into the mix. So. I don't want you to think that that's largely what my posting is about, but again, as I mentioned earlier, a large part of my posting is studio-based, so you want to focus. You know, if I were to pull a ratio, I'd say try and make it 60 to 80% photography and go nuts with the rest and avoid politics and religion. So I see people talk about, especially on Facebook, they get right into like politics and their political views. You'll never see me do that. I just don't want to go there. It's just too personal, and it just starts to alienate some people. So you got to be careful. You got to be a little bit responsible. So anyways, let me just go back here and show you some images. And I'm going to go to Facebook in a minute. All right, let's go here. I'm going to go back to the post that I did today. All right, so there you can read this post right here. I just grabbed this one today. It's not a very long post. I put it in the baby and children category. By the way, one of the questions if some of you are asking is this is kind of a sneak peek. I'm a little bit liberal when it comes to showing clients images even before they place their order. It's questionable as to whether or not it's a good idea. I feel very, very strong that it's not affecting my sales. If it were, I would not be showing sneak peeks until the sale was finished. So you're going to have to decide that on your own. I know some photographers are dead set against it, and they wait until the sale is made before they actually make their sales. So James is asking, do you only post images I have model releases for? I don't have any model releases in my studio. I should, I'm supposed to, but I don't. I just ask people. I'm just very open. We have a very strong connection with our clients. If I had any sense that it was not a good idea, I probably wouldn't. But I asked them, I say, are you on Facebook? Do you mind if I throw some of these images? That everybody's just like, oh, absolutely. I probably should use a model release. Nobody's, in the whatever amount of years I've been doing this, nobody's ever raised a big stink. So it's been pretty good. So you could tell I like to put for the most part, I don't always do this, but I like to put the studio brand across the pictures. So if you look down here, where is it? Kyle, where is the tags, the keyword tags? Can you see them? Am I blind?
I don't think they're showing on this.
Well, I'm going to go in here and check it out. So I could, if I'm logged in, I could just click on my edit post right on the top here. And if you're in my studio on my proofing computer where I do most of my posting from, I'm usually logged in because I want to be ready. Well, there's 3 separate tags. When you go to a post, and this is a WordPress thing, it's pretty straightforward. You can go click on the choose from the most used tags, and you will build up your tags as you post more and more, and it tracks the ones you use the most and it makes them larger. So you can see the ones that I use the most are larger. So if I wanted to, while I do a post, add 1, 2, 4, 6, 12 tags, keywords, I can go and easily just click on that one, and I can add Sudbury Wedding Photographer, hit update, and it's going to add it in there. Sometimes I do that. I'll put a wedding photography tag in a general post on babies or whatever else. I don't really care. I'll mix them in there. So those are things that help your search engine. So if you search for Sudbury photographers, Sudbury Ontario photographers, Sudbury wedding photographers, Sudbury photography studio, I usually come up top 5. I don't care if I come up first; it doesn't matter to me. But top 5 is good enough. It's not coming up on the search engines is a pretty important thing, but it's not the end-all be-all. It doesn't guarantee you that you're going to have a successful photography studio. It's just one tool that I prefer to do right, but it's one of many, many marketing strategies, and it's a pretty important one because of the way that people use the website and the internet and social media. So I'm just curious, though, Kyle, how come I can't see those tags? Shouldn't those words be showing up somewhere?
I'll have to look in your dashboard, see if you have them turned off.
You think I got it turned off? There's other ways to optimize too. Is this something worthwhile talking about, all-in-one SEO pack, or is that something we'll just not even go there? Do you know much about that?
Yeah, that basically allows you to set individual titles and descriptions for each of your posts. Mm-hmm. It's debatable on how much it affects things now. Google's a bit more sophisticated. The titles are pretty important because the titles are included in the URL. So if you're trying to rank for particular keywords, it's good to include those in the title.
Is this the title here?
And then that's okay. That would be the default title.
Okay.
But you can change that by going down and clicking in the title
here
of that all-in-one SEO. That would be what would show up on the search engines if you do a Google search. So then the same thing for the description. You can put in a different description. Normally what it'll do is it'll take that first paragraph of your text. Mm-hmm. If you want to make it different because you want to put in a keyword or two that aren't in the first paragraph, then you can write your own description there.
Cool. I guess if you wanted to go the extra mile, it's there for you. So what I try and do is use words like newborn portraits. I try and add every once in a while. There's family portraits. I try and add different words that are sort of key. I don't fuss it over too much because I come up pretty good in search engines anyway. So, but if I really wanted to bring it on, I probably would do that. See right here, I threw in the name, family portraits, and I add the name and our the province right in my title. So you'll see me do that once in a while. So, but again, I don't get too hung up on getting it too perfect. It's odd that I can't see the. I can't see those words. I thought for sure I could see them before. I thought for sure I could see them on the bottom of each blog post. Those keywords. Anyways, they're there. I mean, they're showing up somewhere. Maybe if I log out, would they show? This is a shoot from 2 days ago. Been photographing those little gaffers since they were like newborns. Mm-hmm. So we got the tags. The tags are here, but they're not showing for some reason. Anyways, I'm baffled. Anyways, enough of that. Talking about social media here. Let's go there in a second. I'm checking for questions. Ernie has a question. James has a question. No, I already answered. James has another question. Cool app for smartphones. Easy release. Parents can sign up the smartphone screen. I think I've seen that. That's a good one. Thanks for that, James. There's an app for your smartphone. Easy release. Parents can sign right on the smartphone screen. That would be cool. I should look into that. Ernie wants to know, on your families page at the top, you have a nice box inside of which is the family and the couch. How did you get the box? Is it a widget? And it's a widget. I'm going to go to that page. You're talking about my family's page right here? And you're talking about that box. Yeah, that's built into, let me just show you. It's sort of one of the features that's included. And so when you're doing a page, these are the boxes right here. So you get to choose. There's 5 different styles: info, warning, download, bio, shadow, and you choose which one you want, which one looks best, and I'm not sure which one that is, but it's one of those boxes. You know, when I first started with this theme, I went and tried each box and kind of got a sense of which ones I like the most. And this is a different one, so it's a different color. You know, I added my little W logo to it as well. I changed that out because this one here had a little image file added to it. So this is a same idea, different box because it's a different color. So they all have different colors to them. They're all basically the same with the rounded corner. So that's what that is. That's just included right in that theme. So what has been the most effective means of marketing your blog? Word of mouth, links through Facebook, or Google SEO? Derek is wanting to know. Kyle, you should answer that as well as I'll give you my opinion and or best answer on that one, because you probably have much more of an academic viewpoint on that. So when you're talking about marketing your blog, I think the best way is to get people to sign up for it, and also to link your blog posts to your Facebook account, which is what I do. So if I go to my Facebook, okay, there's my Facebook. See that post right there? Okay, that's the one I showed you earlier. Where did it go? I think I have too many tabs open here. Just let me get rid of one of these. Okay, this one here is one that I sent to Facebook right away. So I often get people commenting, people liking it, people sharing it, and you know, I think Kyle, can you track how many people view your Facebook posts?
Yeah, you can.
It's built in.
Let me see. It's yeah. If you're an admin, in fact, I think you go. If you're an admin, it'll show. It's called Insights, okay. And it will allow you to see how many people are viewing that site. How many? If you can go there, go up, Rob. There. Can you go to the top?
I'm there.
This is your this is your personal page. You have to go to your business page.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to go to my studio page.
Yeah.
No, I didn't put that one onto my studio page. I could have sworn I threw it on there. My studio newsletter got posted here. I do neglect my studio page more than my personal page.
There you go. So there you go. So that Insights, the box that you're looking at in the middle.
Oh, here. Okay, cool.
Yep. That'll show your, the posts are they're in purple.
Okay.
Talking about how many people are actively engaged in that content, and then the reach, which is how many people are actually seeing that content, whether it's on your wall or on a different wall.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it goes up and down. Typically it goes up, obviously, when you're posting, and when you're posting content that people are engaged with, it'll typically go up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's neglected, it starts to go back down.
Yeah.
So, and if you mouse over that, you'll be able to actually see the numbers associated with each of those points or days. It'll give you actual numbers.
Mm-hmm.
200 people, 3,000 people, whatever it is. So.
Cool. So the data's there if you want to follow it. I got to admit, I don't, and I don't get into that as much. I don't even work as much into my actual studio web page, preferring and opting for personally posting as an individual who owns a photography studio. Whether or not that's right or wrong, I'm not sure, but that's what I've been doing. And I should probably double post. I don't know if that makes any sense, but when I go to post something from my blog, and then I send it over to Facebook because it's got a built-in feature. All I got to do is click this right here. I I'm going to show you how I do. Somebody asked a minute ago, can you do a quick sample post for us? I'm going to do that right now. Well, there's a couple other questions. I'll ask those questions. I'll answer those questions in a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to do a sample post right now. So I'm going to go under Post, Add New. Actually, you know what? Let's go to my main page. I can start right from scratch here and show you exactly without missing a beat. So I'm at my studio main page. All I got to do is click this here, New Post. Bingo. That's going to give me the interface for doing a blog post. And I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. So what I do is I go into my images. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one there. I don't want to put a form. I want to put an image. So I'm going to grab an image because, you know, I have these folders going, especially in my studio. I'm not in my studio right now, but in my studio I have these folders going where I have these images, and I can't remember what I got. So I post the image, and I'm like, oh yeah, right, I got that image. So I go and grab an image that I going to post and talk about. Just trying to find something here. What can I talk about? What can I talk about, guys? Do you have any ideas? Boop, boop, boo. I'm going to go up here. I know what to do. I've got exactly the right solution. All right, I'm just going to grab that image. This is size for a banner, so you know it's a little bit of an awkward size. So I clicked. Add the image. Blah blah blah. It's loading, loading, loading. It's going to be like 900 pixels wide, but I can size it down. Okay, so I see it's like 954. I'm going to click Insert into Post. So it's actually a very wide, and I'm just, going to size it down a bit. Way up high. Okay, so there's my title, and I'm just going to add some text. So I'm going to add the text. You know what? Here's what this wedding I shot out of town. A few weeks ago when I was up. I do this. I was up in Timmins, Ontario, shooting a wedding. So people searching for wedding photographer in Timmins can find this post. Here's a wedding shot from a few weeks ago when I was up in Timmins, Ontario. Oh, come on, capitalize. The bride and groom were nervous for two reasons. One, what's a 54-year-old photographer doing climbing up a 12-foot fence? And will he fall on us? And this is true. I was like up on his fence, man. I climbed up that sucker like there was no tomorrow. So I freak people out when I do that kind of stuff. But this was a tall fence, but it was, what do you call that, metal interlock thing? It's easy to get my feet in there. I wear running shoes on weddings, so it's easy for me to climb. It just freaks people out. So it's what I did to get this shot. So it makes for a good blog post. So here's a wedding shot from a few weeks ago in Timmins, Ontario. The bride and groom were nervous for two reasons. One, what's a 50-year-old photographer? Sometimes I'll do just about anything to get the shot. How cool is that angle? They loved it. So there's my post. So I'm going to put it into wedding photography because it's going to go in that category, and I'm going to click on most used tags. I'm going to go to Sudbury Photographer. I'm going to put Wedding Photography. Westmount Photography is my studio name. Ontario Wedding Photographer. Sudbury. Did I click Sudbury Wedding Photographer? If I didn't, there's Timmins. Look at that, Timmins Wedding Photography. So I added that one too because that's the town I was in when I shot this wedding. Now I'm going to add one more thing here. I'm going to go here, and I can add a link to a bunch more of the images. All right, so I got an album. You can tell I got a lot of albums on my Facebook page. I got 94. But I got an actual album dedicated to this couple's wedding, and that was Kayla and Sean. Okay? So if I wanted to, there's a bunch of images here that are not showing yet. I could go here. I could go view image. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to get new ideas here. I could actually add more images from my Facebook page and add them right into my blog post. So, but this time I'll click on from a URL. So I'm going to put the URL right in there. See right here. So I'm going to paste it. Or I could add title, text, blah, 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 but I'm not even going to do any of that. I'm just going to click insert. But I should add a little more copy, don't you think? Here's a few more images from their wedding day. So I can easily do that. Or I could do this. I could go see more on my Facebook page. Okay, so I can go actually click and I could link the whole album if I wanted to. Okay, all I got to do is get the website URL. Sorry guys, it's slow, probably because I'm recording the screen. All right, there they are. So it's Kayla and Sean. I got the right album, so I can copy that, and I'm going to throw that right into. I don't do this for all my posts, but I can if I wanted to. So I'm going to add the link button. Just hit paste, and I could click this one, open link in the new window tab, add link. I'm good to go. Publish. And that's it. That's how I do a blog post. Okay, you could do one every day, every 2 days, every 3 days. Try and get up to 20 plus a month. So I click View Post. Let's have a look, see if it worked out okay. There you go. Wedding pose from way up high. Here's a wedding shot from a few weeks ago, and I was in Timmins. Blah 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 blah. Okay, and here's a few more images. Well, I put a few more images, but I only added one. So I probably should change that, but you get the point. Okay, so that's how I do a blog post. It's that simple. Did I put 50? Oh, sorry. Okay. I got to go fix my spelling. Thanks for pointing that out. Somebody said 50-year-old photography. So it's supposed to be photographer. There we go. Okay, I'm going to write a little more. That's me. All right. There. You happy now? What are you asking, Aaron, about before? Sorry, what about the Google Places? Aaron's asking about the Google Places. In my location, there are 5 photographers come up with various keywords before the regular listings. Do you know what that's all about, Kyle?
Well, let's take a look. Can we...
Want me to give you the screen?
Yeah, you can give me the screen here.
I'm not sure what the question is, so that's why I kind of was hoping you could answer it.
Maybe can you ask what the city or search is doing?
Yeah. What is the area, Aaron? Aaron Denton. Can you give me the portrait photographer, Cleveland, Ohio? While you're doing that, I'm going to answer Ernie's question. How do you insert your own logo so that it shows on the top of every page? I was showing you earlier the interface, the control panel. There was a little spot there that said logo, just boom, and it just automatically builds it into the theme template. I can go there later and show it to you again, but it's really, really simple. There's just a little area, one of the tabs. There's a little box that says logo. All right, so Kyle's doing his thing, something to do with listings, places.
Okay, so are we on my site now? Let's see.
Yeah, you're live, man.
All right, live. Okay, good. So I just brought that up, Portland photographer, Cleveland, Ohio. And it may look different on your screen because Google does. It depends on where you're located and things can change. But in general, what we're looking here in this case on my screen, these are what we would call organic listings. So these are straight up Google search results. And these would go to the person's blog or page that you see there. And then what we see down here, these are the Google Plus pages. They're actually now called Google Plus local pages, and they'll also show up on the map. You can see here these little letters. These are showing up on their map and corresponding to these little tags here. So if I were to go to this one, if I click on that Google Plus page, it's going to take me to their Google Plus. It used to be Google Places, now it's Google Plus Local. It's combined now with their Google Plus social site. And so what they've done is they've claimed this Google Plus Local page and they've optimized it by putting in pictures and a little bit of text, not a whole lot here, but they're actually ranking on the front page of Google just for that Places page. You can see here that some of these people have reviews as well. You can see Walmart there, they're having 2 out of 30 Google reviews. So, we'll take a look at this one here. Go to their Places page, you're seeing reviews. See Portrait Innovation. So this looks like probably a chain studio. And their reviews aren't that good. So 0 out of 3, 1 out of 3. So pretty poor reviews. Ideally what you'd like to do is you'd like to obviously have your Google Plus local page, and you'd like to get a lot of good reviews, because if you get a lot of reviews right here, this is prime category to dominate that market, because there's very few reviews, and those that have reviews are very bad reviews. So.
Oh, it's crazy. Bad reviews.
That in a nutshell. That's a Google Plus local in a nutshell. You could talk for hours on that, but
yeah,
that's a whole different topic than SEO. But
yeah, okay. I hope that kind of points in the right direction. Just want to see here. Questions. Hold on. Ernie is asking, when I go to... oh, okay. Ernie has a question about I guess I'm going to go to it right now. Where the logo gets inserted. All right, right here. Right here. He's saying when I go to General tab for theme options, it does say logo, but when I click on it, I get a pop-up that says cheating. Huh? Do you know what that's about?
Repeat that, please.
What he's asking, when I go to the General tab, which is where I'm at on the screen, for theme options, it says logo, which is right there, obviously the first box. It says, when I click on it, a pop-up says cheating, huh? Do you know what that's all? Yeah, I never heard of that before. So yeah, I think you might have gremlins. So Ernie, we're gonna Ernie, we should probably get on that. Well, let's do that after the recording sometime, like soon, and figure out what it is. I don't know what it is. It's weird. So Kyle, why don't you think on that for a minute? I just want to show everybody really quick. We're kind of getting down to the end of our webinar anyways, but I just want to show this blog here, this blog post I had done while Kyle was talking about Google Places. I went in and downloaded a bunch of images from Facebook when I'd posted sneak peeks when I do weddings, by the way, I do sneak peeks much more blatantly, and to me it's more important because weddings and social media are, because they're giving me $3,000-$4,000. They're getting the digital files. I don't care so much, about making the sale because the sale's already made, and I don't care about them taking the images because they're getting the digital files. Weddings are the only time I give away digital files, so I'm a lot more liberal with it. But to me, on a wedding, like, man, talk about the social reach and getting out to other leads and prospects. It's just a really, really potent and testimonials. Holy crap, loads of them. So I'm going to take this image off. I clicked on it. I'm going to hit backspace. Oh, I noticed a little error. Okay, so I'm going to click this here, and I'm going to add an image thumbnail gallery. Okay, I don't want to leave the page. Kyle, do you know what that's all about?
The cheating thing?
No, I'm trying to add a thumbnail gallery here. Oh, okay, that's all it is. Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
so,
I was distracted on it.
My bad.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm reading that just to pipe in there on what Ernie encountered. It looks like WordPress 3.4, they've introduced an error which
okay,
which I'm going to have to look into and fix. But it looks like that's the problem. So that just came out. So yeah. I have to correct it. It looks like it has an issue with the elegant theme.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Trying to get that fixed tonight for you, Ernie.
All right, so I grabbed those images that were in Facebook. You see they got these really weird names that I had already posted in my Facebook fan page. And I'm going to grab those images and I'm going to throw them. I'm going to make a thumbnail slide gallery, not a, I guess slideshow gallery that I can actually include in the post that I was working on a while ago. Okay, so I'm going to add it right here. I'm going to take that off. I'm just going to show you how this is done. It's so simple. So you see it's loading the images in there. And I think once we're done this, unless there's any more questions, I think we're going to wind this down. We went a little bit over. I tried to keep it under an hour, but to no avail. But if you're a member of our site, Photo Sites That Sell, you're one of the originals, and we're there for you. You have any questions? I know a couple of photographers have been using it. They're doing it like gangbusters and making it happen. So if you're interested in checking it out, go to photositesatsell.com and go check it out. It's like $27 a month. Hey, Kyle, do I have to hit save here, or is it done?
No, it should be done.
Okay. So how do I change the name here?
You gotta put your cursor there on the name portion where the name is.
Right here? Oh, here, okay.
Now click the, there's over there the new gallery on the general styles and settings.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so I'm going to call it Kyle, and so that I can figure out later which one it is. And I think there's a save button. Is there not a save button? No?
Just to submit.
All right, submit, save, same thing, right? I get a little blind at times. So if I want to add that particular slideshow, just go in here, and it's right here. See that? Add thumbnail. And it isn't showing up yet because it's obviously not there. So Kyle and Sean.
You have to reload your post.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what I got to do. Obviously, it's not going to show up.
Yeah.
Until I reload it. Okay, I'm going to reload it right now. Then we're going to close down the webinar. So again, if you guys want to know more, go to photositesatsell.com, and you could see everything you need to know about the service that Kyle and I are offering. All right, now I'm going to add it in there. Take that off. Bingo. Fix that little spelling mistake. Click here. Click Add Thumbnail. Kyle and Sean, hit update, and we are in like Flynn. So it's updated. Once it's updated, it's still spinning. I can hit preview page, view post, and it'll show up with the gallery in there. So there it is. So there's the gallery. So that's just one of the plugins that we added to it that we think is really cool. So the whole thing is designed to work as one complete, really dedicated to the photography, portrait wedding photography photographer. You know, if you know James Hodgins, he's a mining industrial photographer. He's got a very, very, very rugged, different looking site. It's not elegant. It's manly. You know, it's the mining industry. And but for, you know, this kind of photography, I think it's important to maintain a certain integrity and design and content delivery and user experience. So just going to answer a quick question here. Oh yeah, James is asking, $27 a month, does that include hosting? That includes everything, hosting, the whole thing. There's an initial fee of $47, which is going to go up very soon, but that's what it is right now. If you want us to transfer the whole thing over and do all the extra work too, there's an extra fee for that. It's not crazy expensive or anything. Gary's saying, as I already have a website, could I set up a quote trial website on another domain and when ready, push the whole thing over to replace the original? We've done that with others, and it's totally doable, isn't it, Kyle? We set them up on our server as a temp.
Yeah. Well, normally what we do is we set it up, and you won't rename the name servers till you're ready to push over, so you'd access the new site just by the IP address.
Yeah.
And then once we're ready to move over, we'll change the name servers wherever your domain name is hosted at, say GoDaddy. We'll make one, actually change 2 fields in WordPress, and then it'll be pointing to your new site.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll help you with that.
Yeah, so that's one option, and that kind of makes it a lot easier to make the transition. So, but that's the idea behind what we've done, and you know, we try and bring tonight's webinar, bring in those ideas, reiterating those ideas, and also talking a little bit about our specific service. And it's always a work in progress. There's constant ongoing modifications, and what we're hoping to do is get more and more members involved as we grow. We don't want it to grow too fast, so we've been kind of like foot on the brake, foot on the gas at the same time, so that we don't stumble and or get too ahead of ourselves, because sometimes that causes more problems. And we want to be able to have something that consistently makes sense for the photography industry and for photographers. So again, if you want to go watch that original webinar, it's got a lot more detail in it. It's again at nobsphotosuccess.com. Just click on blog. It's there, top post. So thanks, Gary. He's saying he's off to bed. It's 3:30, and I appreciate you staying up all the way from the UK. Everybody else is saying thank you, thanks for the info. I'm glad you guys got something out of it. And if you have any questions beyond tonight's webinar, feel free to email myself or Kyle. Absolutely, we will answer your questions for you. We're very open and transparent, and we're eager and always trying to find and bring the best solutions for you guys. So. What do you say, Kyle? Is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
We're all done. So
yeah.
I will shut the recording off now and bid you all a good night and a farewell. And this recording will go online. I'm just going to put it in the same blog post that the other one was in. So, all right. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, everybody.